Okay, so if you remember, we cover water cycle in term 1. We spent about 6 to 7 weeks to cover this chapter. So now I plan to cover this within half an hour. Alright, if you pay attention to class, keep quiet, you should be able to grab some concept from here and do well for the test tomorrow. Okay, for water and states, solid, liquid, gas, you need to know what are the processes involved. From solid to liquid, okay, it gains heat. For this chapter, there are a few keywords you need to know. Okay, that means, is it gain heat or lose heat? Is it condensation or evaporation? So these are some of the keywords you need to know, some of the key processes you need to know. From solid to liquid, okay, you gain heat. When it gains heat, okay, this process is called melting. The change of state from solid to liquid is called melting. And moving forward, okay, you gain heat again from liquid to gaseous state or gas state. It's called boiling or evaporation. When at gaseous state it loses heat, we call it condensation taking place. Alright, and from liquid to solid it loses heat, we call it freezing. And for water it occurs at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, so important keyword you need to know, very important. What's the difference between evaporation and boiling? A common question in PSLE. So do take note that boiling take place at only 100 degrees Celsius for water. Okay, it take place only at 100 degrees Celsius. Whereas evaporation take place at any temperature below boiling point. And evaporation take place only on the surface of the water. Okay, whereas boiling take place throughout within the water and on the surface of the water as well. Okay, but there's important keyword you need to know. In PSLE, it came up in one of the papers before, the difference between boiling and evaporation. So to take note that boiling take place at 100 degrees Celsius, it only happen for water. For other liquid, it can happen at other degrees Celsius. So what I trying to say is that if the exam asks you what's the difference between boiling and evaporation, to play safe the dimension is water, I will say that boiling occurs at a fixed temperature. I repeat, boiling occurs at a fixed temperature, whereas evaporation occurs any temperature below boiling point. Please don't write 100 degrees Celsius because in the question the dimension is water. Only water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Other liquids may actually boil at other temperature. So to play safe in PSLE, just mentioned, the difference is that boiling occurs at a fixed temperature, whereas evaporation occurs at any temperature below boiling point. Okay, and we also mentioned about the factors that affect the rate of evaporation. We call it the wet, wind, exposed surface area, and temperature. So the stronger the wind, the faster the rate of evaporation, the larger the exposed surface area, okay, the faster the rate of evaporation, and also the higher temperature, the faster the rate of evaporation. Okay, please take note of the keyword, the rate of evaporation, not the faster temperature, not the faster the evaporation, but it's the rate of evaporation. Okay, so this is a temperature graph that shows that what happened when you boil water. Okay, so it happened over here. Let's say from B to C. If you look at it closely, from B to C, B, it is at solid state. Between B to C, it occurs at ice and water. There are two states involved. Only at point C, it becomes water. So the temperature increases from point C to point D, okay, until it boils at point D. Okay. Likewise, for freezing point, water, okay, let's say it starts at 80 degrees Celsius, it cools down, it cools at until room temperature, okay, then followed by it freezes at this point. then it become ice. So look at the state. At room temperature is at water. So from between S to T is instead of water and ice, only at point T it is completely solid state. Okay, we call it ice. Okay. Okay, now we continue. We will try some questions to check on your understanding. So this question shows that Osam took a bus to school. So when he got off the aircon bus, he noticed that his glasses become cloudy or misty. Explain why it is so. So for this question, I will need you to remember what we go through in term one. Yes, the WCLCW. So let's try the class. How would you answer this question using WCLCW? Okay, I give you about a minute to write down your answer. Okay, move on.